Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. Recently I did a video where a viewer left in the comment section a question about scents. He wanted me to address the topic, using something that will give your bait an added smell so that you can attract more fish and get more bites. And so he said that he felt like it couldn't hurt. And I definitely agree with that. I don't think it hurts. I do actually think that would be kind of underselling the importance of it. So I'm going to go into when to use them, why to use them, where to use them, just my experience, share that with you guys, and we'll kind of address this in a quick video. But first I want to say, hey, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And if you like the content, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Love to hear from you guys. So over the years, I've used lots of different scent types. I've used the kinds that you can spray. I've used the kinds that are like a gel. I've used the kinds that you can dip. So there's all types of scents that I've used so that I can get more bites. And I definitely believe, just based on my experience, that you can get more bites by using scents. The downside to scents are that for a person like myself, I'm tournament fishing a lot, and I don't want to take the time to take a cap off and spray, dip, or dye, or paste something on the side of it unless I really feel like it's going to make a huge difference. Couple that with the fact that most of the baits anymore have a scent in them. And the Strike King brand baits, the Strike King KVD Perfect Plastic line, has some coffee scent embedded into the plastic, and I really like the way that smells. It's kind of a sweet coffee type smell, and I feel like that really helps to mask our human odor, the scents, that the things that are on our hands that might be a put off to bass. That's really the reason to use it, is A, to either attract more bites, or B, to kind of mask our human scent from whether it's filling up your boat at the gas station or your vehicle on the way to the lake. Those kinds of smells can sometimes be a put-off. So I think addressing the use of scents, this is really kind of seasonally appropriate. And what I mean by that is, for me, over the years, I've found that when it comes to fishing in the wintertime, I feel like when I'm fishing slow-moving, bottom-bouncing type baits, a jig, a drop shot, Carolina rig, those types of things, shaky heads, then I feel like a bass has a chance to kind of study the bait. But I also feel like they will strike a bait really subtly, and what you want is for them to be able to hold onto that bait, and so you can really feel that you've got a bite, because a lot of times in the wintertime or cold water periods is where the bites are really soft and mushy, and so you're trying to detect whether you've got a bite, and the scent, I feel like, will help a fish hold on to it a little bit longer. It smells right, it tastes right, it's just something that there's no off-putting cues, and could actually get you a few more seconds before you'd set the hook, before they would eject it, and then you'd miss the opportunity to set the hook on that fish. So the bait types that I use, I've kind of mentioned already. I like it for your soft plastics and your jigs. Some guys will use scents as more of a lubricant for punching into a mat or throwing big swim baits, because sometimes a bass will come up and grab a bait, and if they've got a great hold on that bait, trying to set the hook in their mouth can make it a little bit more difficult to actually have that hook penetrate the fish's mouth. So bigger swim baits, guys will put scent on it, something oily, so that they can pull the bait out of the fish's mouth and then get that hook started and penetrated into the roof of their mouth. So that's one of the reasons why to use them. Seems like in the wintertime you'll have an area where fish are grouped up, and when they're grouped up, you're making a repetitive cast at a certain spot, and you're really just kind of soaking that bait there. I feel like there's an opportunity for scent to really try to get you a few more bites, specifically when you're making a repeated cast to a specific spot. So that's one other reason to use them. But overall, I like using scents on your slow-moving baits. Some guys will use scents on your crankbaits and different things like that. But for me, I'm using them on your soft plastics and your jigs, your bottom-bouncing baits, swim baits, some sort of soft plastic application. Species. Definitely there's certain species of bass that are more susceptible, from my experience, to using scents, and I feel like getting a few more bites over the course of a day. For me, number one, the smallmouth. The smallmouth is a species that, for me, I've found out that over the years, they really like scents. they bite baits that have some sort of smell to them. So when I fish for smallmouth, I'm definitely going to have some sort of scents, whether it's the scents that are impregnated in my soft plastics that I use, or I'm going to add something to them. Smallmouth are definitely more particular when it comes to if things are smelling right. If nothing else, I want to put something on there so that they're not rejecting my bait, but they're actually taking the offering a little bit better. Spotted bass would be number 2. In some ways, I think spotted bass are kind of a happy medium between largemouth and smallmouth, and they actually suspend more and they like clear water and different things like that, but they are a species that also likes sight and scent. They definitely respond better, in my opinion, over the years to scents and the use of them. If you had a scale of bass that appreciate scents more to the bass that don't appreciate it as much, it would be smallmouth number 1, spotted bass number 2, and largemouth number 3. I just feel like largemouth don't seem to care as much if things smell right per se, but they do. I feel like scents definitely help. It's one of those things that you really can't prove. Everything in the watery world is constantly in a state of flux. You don't have a controlled environment in which you can replicate that same sort of scenario over and over again to really prove it or not. But my experience has been over the years that scents do help. And so I do use them. And generally what I use most of the time anymore now are my soft plastics actually have them impregnated in the baits. So I'm always using them as well. Every now and again, I'll get on a kick, especially if I'm throwing soft plastics or jigs, where I'll apply something a little extra to it, whether it's in the form of something that I dye my bait in, or spray on, or actually use some sort of a gel or a stick to add something. But generally as a whole, I'm just relying upon the scent that really comes in the plastic. And I don't often add more to it. And you might ask, why don't I use scents more if I believe that they work? And the reason for that is it takes time to apply them, to apply something extra to my baits. I don't know that that really is worth the time, because what I've found over the years, if you present the bait correctly, a lot of times they're gonna bite it anyways, because they're either curious, or you draw a reaction strike, or it's presented in a manner that looks natural, and they're always opportunistic feeders. So things are more along the lines of them trying to eat something because they're concerned about it getting away or missed out on another opportunity, or if they're in an area with more fish, and then there's the competition thing, and they want to try to get it before the bass next to them gets it. So in my opinion, presenting the bait, lure placement, fishing it well are definitely more important. However, it is something that I believe can help you hook and land more bass in the course of a day. So that's my take on scents. Hopefully that sheds some light on it, some things that you may or may not have thought about. But scents definitely work in my opinion, and I think it's something that if you don't already have that on your baits, you might try to apply that. But for the most part, I'm using it for your slower bottom bouncing baits, not so much for your reaction type baits. And in an order of importance, smallmouth number 1, spotted bass number 2, largemouth number 3. That's it for the video today, guys. Just a quick video addressing this question. I think it's a great question. It's seasonally relevant. And of course, I want to try to answer the questions that you guys might have in the comment section. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Please give me a like if you like this video, share it with your friends, and then obviously please subscribe. And until next time, good fishing.